Good morning. It is January 21st, 2020, and it is 7 a.m. Well, good morning, everyone out there. Hope you're all having a blessed morning and had a wonderful evening. Got some good rest. Ready for the next wave of life and things that are going to affect us and all the love that we have to have in our hearts to get out there and to help others and all that other good stuff. Good stuff. I hope you're all doing really well. Um, so I'm just going to jump right into today's topic and go into a few different, I guess you'd call them situations or just different viewpoints, really. And anybody has any questions, obviously, out there, please throw them into the chat box. So I've been reading from this wonderful book called The Way to Happiness, which is written by L. Ron Hubbard in 19, I think, 81, I want to say. It says in the beginning, in the opening, it says 81 here, but I was surprised that it was in 81. But I've been reading these precepts. There's 21 precepts here on how to live better, right? They're pretty simple. You read them and you're like, yeah, but they are so extremely valuable to survival. And they're sort of like, they're basic to everyone. Like, there's nothing in here that you can't apply to another human being, right? And that's what I love about this particular book. It's not a religious book. It's a book on life. It's a book on how to better survive in life, and these precepts are extremely uh, valuable to me because they really were the thing that really motivated me to do better, and I make a lot of mistakes, so don't get me wrong. I'm certainly not a perfect person, but this is actually one of those tools that I use to kind of put me on the right path and to, if I fall off or if I make a mistake, I know that these 21 precepts somewhere in here, I kind of had a falling out, screwed up in some way. And it's a very delicate one. Number 3, we're up to number 3 now. So far we've done, we've done 1 and 2, right? For anybody out there on podcast land, thank you for listening. I appreciate y'all. If you're working out, doing your morning workout, listening to me, I appreciate that. And let's have some fun this morning. Okay, so we did take care of yourself. Number 1. Number 2, be temperate, which means don't go overboard on stuff. And number 3 is don't be promiscuous. So what's the word promiscuous mean, right? So it means casual, random sexual relations, right? So that's really a very extreme kind of thing, right? Because it's not saying don't have, uh, right? I know it's early morning, but I'll just use the S word, sex, right? It's not saying don't have sex, right? It's saying casual, random sexual relations. So, going to a bar, meeting somebody, and sleeping with them that day. You know, that's and then doing that again the next day, right? That's being promiscuous. That's being very promiscuous, right? Um, but so there's a very personal thing here too, right? Because um, you know, what's real for you has to be real for you, right? And it may not be real for someone else, So you may have two people, one person that actually is promiscuous but does not think that they're doing anything wrong, right? And it's real to them that it's not wrong, right? And then this other person here who's very holy wants to wait till marriage before sex, and that's what's real to them. So it's a very, it is a personal thing. It really has to do with survival. When you really boil it down, what you boil it down to is survival. Are you surviving well on that dynamic, um in that area of your life? Are you surviving well by behaving this way? That's the key element. Did you build a life for yourself that you're happy with by behaving this way, right? And that goes with everything, right? Not just being promiscuous or sex, or that goes with everything. Have you, by worrying about every little thing, right? We could take this another way, right? Let's just say by worrying about everything that happens and being concerned and oh no, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. This is so hard. And da da da. Does that serve you well? Does that help you, or does that just stress you out and make life harder for you? So these are the kind of things that you have to look at in your life on a daily basis and see what is the thing that's stressing you out that you can either change or handle, change your viewpoint on it, because maybe it's not even that stressful, but you're putting that stress on you because maybe your mother used to put that stress on you, or you know things with money, things with having no time, having living in a home that you don't like, even though the home is beautiful and you it's a very nice home, you're not happy with it. Are those things, is that rational thinking, or is that just something that you developed through years of maybe getting it from someone else, or being suppressed by someone else? So it's survival. And this don't be promiscuous, it's also survival. Now, I'm not recommending go out and try that. See, I think I could survive well if I just sleep around. I think I could. I'm gonna try that, like John said. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, look at your current situation. Especially if you're talking about sex and you're talking about relationships. Look in your current situation. Are you satisfied with it? And I can honestly say, and I'm gonna be a little open about my situation, is that there has been moments in my life, in our lives, in our marriage, where I haven't been happy, and she hasn't been happy, right? And we've struggled through that, and we've done things. I've done things. I'll speak for myself, that I'm not proud of, right? And nothing like promiscuous stuff like that, but I've done things and I've said things that I'm extremely ashamed of, and I'm trying to repair the damage, right? Because this is all you can do, is go out and then repair the damage from what you've from that transgression, right? And how do you repair the damage? Well, the first thing is you have to take responsibility for it. You have to say, I did that. I'm sorry. I'm ashamed. I won't do it again. Right? That's number one. That's huge too. I mean, if you can take responsibility for it, you're literally more than halfway there. A lot of people don't take responsibility for their actions. They blame someone else for driving them to, even if it's a spouse. Well, I did it because that's why I did it, because he did this or she did that, and they drove me to this. I was like, nobody drove anybody to anything. Okay, you made a choice, and it is your choice that you have to sit with, and that choice is either going to help you survive better, or it's going to reduce your survival level to some degree, right? Coffee. And that's where we're going to be diving into today and discussing a little bit further on this. I'm going to read these couple of pages here on this section, the way to happiness. Now, of course, as we move on to some of these are some of them are longer than others. These are the ones I've started out with are short. The really, really long ones, I don't think I'm going to read them on here. I'm going to um, tell you a little bit about them. I'll read little sections of them as we move forward here on this, and then you should just go out and just get the book. If you're interested, this book also comes in a little booklet. It's a little tiny booklet that you could, it's a paperback. It's a nice booklet, but it's a small booklet. You can carry it with you. Um, and if you're interested in that, you can always send me an email at johnhenrysoto at protonmail.com, and I will send you one free of charge. Let me see if I can get my my email here. So that's my email on the screen there. It's johnhenrysoto at protonmail.com. That's protonmail.com. And okay. All right, so let's move on here. It is January 21st, and we are reading The Way to Happiness. My name is John Henry Soto. Welcome to 7 a.m., a show that I do Monday through Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that you're here. And let's move on to this subject here. Okay, so number 3, don't be promiscuous. Sex is the means by which the race projects itself into the future through children and the family. A lot of pleasure and happiness can come from sex. Nature intended it that way so the race would go on. But misused or abused, it carries with it heavy penalties and punishments. Nature seems to have intended it that way also. So there's certain things that can really be pretty damaging. Okay. So number 3, this is 3-1. I think there's only 2 of them on here. No, it's actually only 1. So this is just 3-1, number 3. Be faithful to your sexual partner. Unfaithfulness on the part of a sexual partner can heavily reduce one's survival. History and the newspapers carry floods of instances of the violence of human passions aroused by unfaithfulness. Guilt is the milder evil. Jealousy and vengeance are the greater monsters. One never knows when they will cease to sleep. It is all very well to speak of being civilized or uninhibited or and understanding. No talk will mend ruined lives. A feeling of guilt is nowhere near as sharp as a knife in the back or ground glass in the soup. Additionally, there is the question of health. If you do not insist upon faithfulness from a sexual partner, you lay yourself open to disease. I'll give you that again. For a very brief period, it was said that sexual diseases were all under control. This is not now the case, if it ever was. Incurable strains of such diseases now exist. So health wise also, I mean, I didn't even touch upon that, right? I was talking more about emotional damage and things. This is actually also could be life threatening, right? You can catch something that, next thing you know, you have things falling off, maybe important things. All right. So the problem of sexual misbehavior and not, hold on, I'll give you that again. Sorry. As soon as I get to early morning, it's reading becomes a little bit more strenuous. Let me get a sip of coffee here to finish up the second section. It's almost done. Just one page, small page. Okay. The problem of sexual misbehavior are not new. The powerful religion of Buddhism in India vanished from there in the 7th century. According to its own historians, the cause was sexual promiscuity in its monasteries. More modernly, when sexual promiscuity becomes prevalent in an organization, commercial or otherwise, the organization can be seen to fail. No matter how civilized their discussions about it, families shatter in the face of unfaithfulness. The urge of the moment can become the sorrow of a lifetime. Impress those around you with that and safeguard your own health and pleasure. Sex is a big step on the way to happiness and joy. There is nothing wrong with it if it is followed with faithfulness and decency. All right, so that is number 3, which was don't be promiscuous. Um, so pretty pretty straightforward, right? I mean, it's not telling you don't, you know, um, there's no talk about premarital sex, right? That's another topic. Uh, that's another reality. That's another viewpoint. You know, that's something that's really personal to the individual, right? And I know, many religions have that. Um, the Catholic religion, the Judaism, pretty much all of them, right? Pretty much all of them have that, and that can be a personal choice of the individual, right? Because it happens in every religion where people do fall in love with someone. Me personally, it's really difficult for that. You find your partner, you really invest emotionally into your partner, you invest spiritually into your partner, but you don't invest physically into the relationship, and you wait for marriage. After the marriage, when you do indulge in the physical relationship with your partner, if it's not if there's some type of aberrated kind of thing going on there, or if it's just not what you thought it should be, or if you're not feeling good about it, or if you don't feel right, well then, you've now, so it's a little bit tricky. I know that's a really controversial subject. Wait for marriage to have sex. You know, that's a personal choice for the individual. And that, to me, that's what I say that it is. Whether you get condemned in other religions, then that's again, you have to really understand the religion that you're part of and your faith value, and follow it. And if you're in part of a religion and you're heavily into the religion, then that's fantastic, and you should definitely, that should be your path, because that's going to get you to where, that's going to bring you happiness, right? And again, it has to do with the impact that has on your life, whatever that thing is. Whatever you do in life, that's either a philosophy or religion, it has to better your life, right? It has to improve conditions for yourself. It has to be something that when you go to sleep at night, that you feel confident about. It has to be something so passionate that you're willing to die for, right? It has to be that type of a strong conviction towards your spiritual religion, your spiritual guidance, right? And that's a very powerful thing. So when you get involved in your religion, that's one of the things or in a new religion, let's just say, that's one of the things that you want to look at. Well, what is it? What's the rationality behind everything? There was a couple of I've studied a lot of different religions. I've been to a lot of different churches, I've spoken to a lot of different spiritual leaders, and for the most part, the what every single religion has in common, right? It's love thy neighbor, right? Love thy neighbor. That's pretty much every religion. Um, Now, there's different things. There's different rules. There's certain things you don't do. You don't eat this on that day. You have to go here on this day. You have to, certain things that you have to do. And those apart from all those different types of disciplines, right? The love thy neighbor is really the one that I'm fascinated with, because they all have it. There is, and I'm not saying that every single person that's been in religions have it. There's been a lot of abuse of religion, and that's been kind of a tragedy. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as we go on. Today's topic was a little bit, just kind of brought me to this, because I always feel that whatever decision you make, has to be true to you. It has to make you feel good that you're making these decisions, right? You should never be forced to do something because of because of your faith that you don't feel comfortable with. You feel, you're just like, God, it says I have to do this, but I don't feel right about it. Well, then you have to kind of search deeper and talk to your religious and spiritual leaders and see if they can guide you on a path of faith, or maybe it's just not for you. And it's okay. You can go out and there's things that actually will work for everybody. But it has to be something that's real for you. And this is no exception when it comes to sex before marriage, and what happens after we die, and all those things. That's the much bigger game, right? But when it comes to something that's making you uncomfortable, you have to really sit down and say, is this working for me? Is this something that I'm going to be excited about in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, lying on my bed where I can't get up anymore, and the days are being numbered. The days are getting long, and you're on your way. You're on your way out, right? When you're laying there, are you going to look back and say, I'm happy that I did that? I really am confident right now that I know what I'm doing, and I'm happy to go to wherever it is I'm going, right? And those questions that you ask yourself are extremely important, especially during that time, because then it's done, right? Then there's no like, hey, you know what? I changed my mind. It doesn't matter at that point. You have to really seize life and seize the day. There's a wonderful song by Paul McCartney called Seize the Day on his new record, McCartney 3. If you haven't heard it, it's a beautiful song. Just a great message of seizing the opportunities that you have right now, because they go away. They go away. I mean, this is Paul McCartney at 78 writing great songs, still going strong at 78. And, this is a wonderful example of seizing the day. This is the guy who seizes the day, like um, and I'm really a big Paul McCartney fan. So anyway, this was our topic. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. The book is The Way to Happiness by Ron Hubbard, written in 1981. It is a non-religious book. It is a book with a sensible guide to life, and it's something that I know can help everyone. And because everyone's survival is so important to me, I want to give this information out. And I do it at the risk of anyone's viewpoint, or whatever anybody saw on some stupid television show, um, on L. Ron Hubbard, or the religion, or whatever. It really doesn't affect me, because I've found happiness in the last 26 years of reading this material. Um, I'm really excited about it, and I get more excited as I get older, and as I read more, as I study more, and as I apply this to my life and to my family's lives. We are doing better and better, and things are moving really fast for us, um, in a way that we in 2019 didn't really anticipate it. And we're planning some great things for the future. Pamela's business, my wife's business, is doing really well, and it's just going to do better. We do a show on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. with my wife, where we talk about art, and we talk about we she talks a lot about, she has her material on the world, and how art helps people, and we take questions and we talk to people, and I just behave kind of like a silly monkey, which I do, um, and we just have a great time. So we have a lot of great things, and it's all because of the application of the tools that I've learned in the last 26 years of my life, and my wife's been about 20 years for her. So or at least, well, no, not 20 years. We've been married 18 years. In March it'll be 18 years. We've been together for 20 years. So yeah, it's about almost 20 years. So there you have it, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you. I will be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. And tomorrow's topic, it's called Love and Help Children. So tomorrow is something that I hold dear to my heart. I have two beautiful kids, and we will be talking about helping children. This is a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful chapter that I'll go over tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hope you can tune in. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but thank you, everybody. Everybody, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Go out there, make today great. Do things that you love. Take care of yourselves, and always remember that tomorrow is another day, another opportunity to make things happen. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. And as always, peace.